This is us.
What is that?
There's something in front of me right now. Oh! Oh! Ah! I think something spiritual just attacked my chest.
Bigfoot encounters rarely begin with a clear sighting. They begin with calls answering from the dark, heavy steps outside a tent, and figures moving where no person should be. Are these separate mysteries or signs of the same hidden creature? This incident was featured by Paranormal Discovery, a YouTube channel exploring different haunted places, reported Bigfoot encounters and mysterious creatures. On April 17, 2025, a YouTuber enters Dagger Woods in Nova Scotia for a nighttime investigation, a forest linked to one of the area's darkest stories across the surrounding region. According to the legend, a man killed his wife using a pearl dagger before escaping into the woods and disappearing forever. Residents believe an evil presence consumed his soul and remained behind in the years since then. For years, the forest has been connected to disturbing accounts.
Is the story true?
Tell no tales.
Whoa, what are you gonna do if I tell your story? There was a man who killed his wife with a dagger, and he ran off into this woodland. People say that his soul was taken over by an evil entity. Where is that evil entity right now?
Is that a new, spirit or an entity? The hook is?
Hello?
Someone's standing there! I know it's out here. Something is in my vicinity.
Look at that. It's got a round head, and it's standing about 15 feet off the ground, or floating. What is that?
No! No!
Locals have reported hearing an unnatural howl moving between the trees, sounding neither fully human nor clearly animal. Some believe the noise belongs to the murdered woman's husband. Others think whatever changed him inside the forest became something much more dangerous than a wandering spirit.
We are back here at Dagger Woods. This is one of the most severely haunted forests. If you're a paranormal addict down here, like I am, if you're obsessed with the stories here, you would know that Dagger Woods is one of the most haunted. And it's not just because it's any ghost story, and I'll get into the history more, but the more we come here, the more I actually feel like this is Wendigo territory. If I'm being real with you guys, this is one of the most scariest and most disturbing spots I've ever been to here in Nova Scotia now. Solo and go and pitch a tent somewhere and just kind of chill for a bit, possibly make a bonfire. It did rain on the way here. We could actually pick up some dry wood and, find ourselves some nice wood for a bonfire. Ain't that right, Key? What's up, baby? You getting nervous? Good girl, yeah. Yeah, look at you, look at you. Yo, I gotta show you guys your little sweater here. I'm gonna put your hood on, okay? Look. Oh my God. You baby Nala girl, huh? You baby Nalas? You baby Nalas? We're gonna go catch some Wendigos, okay? We're going Wendigo hunting. So right now marks the start of the Dagger Woods path to this path once before, because we were going to a different side of Dagger Woods where we kind of entered through the corner and got into this weird swampy area, and we drove way down there. So yeah, we're back on a camping trip, got the tarp, got food. So we got a few hours until it gets dark. So we're gonna find a good spot, set up camp. They say that you can hear howling of a man or a creature. No one's ever figured out what it was or what it is. Through the air, you can just kind of feel an ominous and kind of oppressive vibe, and it's creepy, it's disturbing. People say it's a man, people say it's a spirit, but also people say it's a Wendigo or some sort of creature. But the story, man, the story's so crazy. He actually murdered his wife in cold blood with a pearl dagger, ran off into Dagger Woods. He ran off into this exact forest to never be seen again by the locals, by his family, by anybody. They hear this howl, this cry, this screech, and I think we've actually heard this man before, but they say that it's that guy. Some people, I don't know whether this is true or not, his spirit was taken over by an entity in this forest already. He became this weird transforming creature, like a skinwalker or a Wendigo or something. They say his soul.
He reaches the location during the late afternoon with his dog and establishes camp beside the tree line. As daylight completely fades, The Spirit Talker application on his device generates 2 messages without being prompted. One directly concerns a woman, while the other refers to someone losing their life. Soon afterward, a long, low howl travels through the vegetation surrounding his campsite.
I'm here for the Dagger Woods howler, the Heidi Hinder, whatever it's called. Okay, so here is the bridge. I think I'm gonna actually go a lot farther up as the night goes on, but hey, some people over there. Whoa.
I'm afraid to talk.
You're afraid to talk?
There.
So way up there. To way over there. That's funny. That is hilarious, man. Those ATV riders are probably like, what is this guy doing ripping up a Jeep in here? How many times I've run into people in the absolute middle of nowhere. I've taken this Jeep into like random ass places. I don't care. Like, I don't care what these people think. I'm here for the ghosts.
Torment.
Torment? Were you tormented here? Is this the Dagger Woods howler? I hope I do not get stuck in this. Okay, we're gonna give it a go.
Resentment.
Woo! Yeah, boy! We made it! I might take a hike. Get down there. You wanna take a hikey? You wanna take a hike? Yeah. This is the farthest I've actually brought the Jeep up here. So what I'm gonna do is actually go for a hike, see if I can find a spot within the forest itself.
I'm touching your hand.
Well, here we are. About an hour later. It's about 6 o'clock. Rain started picking up. I got this up just in time. Yeah, you know what? We set up here where we parked the car. And it's pretty gonna have an issue with is gathering firewood. It's probably damp and too far long gone and waterlogged at this point to create any sort of fire. Even the ground here is a little bit mushy, but at this point, I am not getting hit by any sort of water. Yeah, not bad. Not bad, not bad. It's creepy out here though, man. Like, it really does feel like you're being stuck. Yeah, she's shaking a bit. So as of right now, it is 6:30. Believe it or not, I have 6 hours to last in this whole entire wilderness that we call Dagger Woods. 6 hours, man. I have to make it till midnight.
Later, a hostile noise appears to circle the camp. His spirit bell, a compact instrument used to register nearby entities, suddenly activates without assistance. A repeated metallic squeal then comes from the darkness, although nothing producing the sound can be seen at all.
It's beautiful. What the? What is that? Holy shit, holy shit. What is that? It's an aggressive dog. Hello? Someone there? What the hell? Whoa! It legitimately is echoing through the trees right now. What the hell? That came from in here. There's something moving, like in. That's weird, man. Okay. That was so weird. Hey, Key. Hello? Somebody out here? I'm kind of just listening right now because I'm hearing, like, maybe they're coyotes, but like I'm hearing it circling in through here and then at times coming from the other end of the car. If there's a spirit here with me, can you touch that device? If there's any spirit here with me, or in fact, if the Heidi Hinder is here, or the Dagger Woods howler, there's a story. What is that? What is that? Listen to that. Hear that squeaking?
He photographs the tree line using a nighttime camera setting. After checking the picture, he notices a large figure positioned roughly 15 feet above the forest floor. Its head appears completely round, with no recognizable facial details. A second photograph taken moments afterward shows nothing in the same location. He approaches the place where the shape had been visible.
On a night shot. Okay, this is gonna scare you guys. This is really gonna scare you guys. What I just captured may have been the clearest humanoid. The things that I've been seeing with my own eyes, I just caught it. What the hell is that thing, man? What the fuck? I was taking night shots like that way, kind of like where we came from the beginning. The car is facing that way. Humanoid would have been right there. Check this out. Standing tall. What in the f is that thing? Look at that. It's got a round head and it's standing about, I don't know, 15 feet off the ground or floating. Like, what is that? What the hell? And it's not in the next one too. That makes no sense. That really doesn't make any sense. Holy shit. That is physically round. Like, for real, that's not a mistake in the photo. Like, that's legitimately round. It has like a physical form right now, and it's standing. Hello? What the Whatever it is standing right up there, or it was.
Suddenly, intense pain strikes his chest and sends him falling onto the ground. After standing again, he feels something across his face. What seems to be blood is coming from both eyes, despite there being no noticeable wounds anywhere on his skin.
I'm gutless. Are you down here? Okay. So round 2, the vibes are even more sketchy. Can you make a sound? Can you mimic that? I mean no harm. I think my eyes are starting to like see stuff that isn't really there, or that aren't really there. What the hell? There's something in front of me right now. Whatever you are, you gotta leave me alone. I feel it. I freaking feel it. Are you the entity? The humanoid that I just saw? What the fuck is that? Hello? Oh. Oh. Ah. Ah. Oh. Ooh, that pain just dropped me. I think something spiritual just attacked my chest. Oh. Something just knocked me over. I just started tearing. Something literally knocked me over. Who are you? God, I'm literally about to tear right now. Oh, something just, like a pain just hit me. I take that as a spiritual warning. Oh my God, what the f***'s on my face? What is that? What is that? Is that blood? No way. I was tearing over there. Did I just tear blood? We gotta go right now. We gotta go right now. Whatever you are, you have to stay here. That's a first. I literally just tear blood. No, don't turn this down. That's blood. That's like blood from both sides of my eyes. Now, I don't know if I was crying out blood. Is there a cut right there? I can't see. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting the f*** out of here. Something is here and it just attacked me. It's gonna be another one of those nights I'm gonna throw everything in the back and get the f*** out of here. Like, I'm not cut there. Or am I cut there? Okay. Time to get the f*** out of here. I found her shaking back there, and I don't want her scared or nothing.
He gathers his dog, packs the equipment, and immediately exits the forest that evening. The featureless round-headed shape located 15 feet above the ground. The unsolicited responses from his device and the mysterious bleeding have never received a definite explanation. Some viewers compare the figure's proportions and appearance with descriptions commonly associated with Bigfoot encounters, but its identity still remains unknown. What do you believe was watching from those trees that night? TikTok user Mr. Wood Booger posted a disturbing moment from a live stream in 2024. During the night, he and a companion traveled into the forest to imitate Bigfoot calls. At first, the outing felt unusual rather than dangerous. However, while they were broadcasting live, unfamiliar sounds started responding from beyond the trees.
Do the call again. That's us.
See, that sounds like a small
That sounds like a smaller one. It's not the same sound as a while ago. Y'all share this out. This will be your first Bigfoot calling. We've never had them this active.
out here, but I think we're picking them off. I think it's in their hunting area. They're always going to get snatched up by Sasquatch and get some good Sasquatch love in here. Man.
Listen.
See, that's a bigger one.
That is a different... Oh, God. Listen. This is us.
Smoke too much. I like it.
Oh, listen. Did y'all hear that?
That's two at the same time.
That was two of them at the same time calling back.
Call there, Roy, dude.
Do y'all hear that?
I've had them call back to me and stuff before, but I don't usually do this when those people in the woods.
Hell, Roy's there, King. Might as well.
Hey, if
That's
the
not
people,
Roy. For the people who think that's Roy,
there's Roy right
there's
there.
Roy right there. I just let y'all know that it is not Roy doing that. Listen, even the dogs behind us are cutting up now.
There's a surprise at the truck, too.
Does everybody hear that?
I think they step in front of the camera so they can watch me do it and
Aye.
see I'm not doing it.
Everybody, now this is us calling. Now watch him. Alright, now listen. Somebody said something like you're getting closer.
It sounds like one's running.
Oh, crap. Do y'all hear the dogs? Even the dogs are cutting up now. Oh, God. No, it's definitely not a coyote.
Both men heard eerie vocalizations coming from an unseen location in the woods, yet neither could identify their source. As those noises continued carrying through the darkness, the atmosphere became tense immediately. What started as an ordinary attempt to call Bigfoot soon became an unsettling experience. The footage lasts only briefly, but their response appears genuine, and the voices echoing from the forest are difficult to dismiss. What exactly was replying from those dark woods? The missing 1970s footage seems unlike an ordinary recording, and more like a piece of evidence that remained unseen for more than 50 years before reaching anyone beyond a small group. The film is thought to date from the 1970s, although no one knows the precise day it was captured. It became publicly available on March 28, 2026, and its release drew attention in the cryptid community. The image is damaged and coarse. Within the frame, the woodland appears remote and crowded with mature trees, the sort of landscape where old logging routes gradually vanish. The lighting suggests the scene was filmed near late afternoon. Whoever operated the camera held it with unusual steadiness for equipment from that era. The film surfaced many years after it was made, and the person behind the lens has never been formally identified. Even so, several details can be inferred. The filmer seems to have been alone. The camera would likely have cost a significant amount during the 1970s. The composition also implies that something may already have attracted their attention before filming began. The camera is aimed directly at dense vegetation from the beginning. Following a brief wait, a figure emerges. It leaves the cover of the brush and proceeds into a visible clearing. It never pauses, scans the area, or attempts concealment. The subject leans heavily forward. Both arms extend unusually far downward, moving much lower than typical human limbs. Almost no neck is visible, and the head rests close against broad, muscular shoulders. Its head appears more rounded and flattened than those described in many Bigfoot accounts. Combined, the stance and gait form a silhouette that would be challenging for someone wearing a suit to reproduce. Its movement does not resemble a normal human stride. The pelvis shifts with an odd rolling motion, while the upper body turns rather than rising and falling. The figure's willingness to remain visible makes the recording even more unusual. Sasquatch stories often describe a cautious, watchful creature that quickly retreats from humans. The subject, however, crosses a clear area during daylight without checking its surroundings. Certain researchers suggest the location was remote enough that the figure never anticipated another person nearby. Others argue it had used the route repeatedly and therefore stopped viewing the crossing as dangerous. Whatever explains its behavior, it moves over the open land as though following a known destination before vanishing beyond another wall of trees. The person recording remains completely silent. The footage finishes with only vacant grass in view. Perhaps the figure never noticed the camera, had its attention elsewhere, or felt secure in such an isolated environment. Yet if it remained fully visible, why did it never turn around? Around the middle of March, a video began circulating across Facebook and rapidly divided viewers into opposing groups. The footage follows a man recording in an isolated location after spotting what seemed to be a small, human-like figure along a steep slope. Initially, the subject remains partially concealed behind a large rock. Once it rises and reveals more of its form. However, the filming starts. The figure looks unusually short, perhaps standing only 3 or 4 feet high. Coarse brown hair appears to cover nearly its entire face. Most of the body also seems hairy, although the arms appear strangely narrow and almost bare. Its overall appearance resembles neither a familiar modern animal nor anything commonly seen today, instead suggesting something connected to an earlier line of human development. Because the recording did not come from the United States, several researchers began examining legends outside North America. On Flores, an Indonesian island, residents have told stories for generations about the Abu Gogo, a short, hairy creature reportedly measuring 3 to 4 feet, with extended arms and unusual muttering sounds. These accounts gained further attention when researchers uncovered Homo floresiensis on that same island, an extinct human species whose height closely matched descriptions found in the traditional stories. Sumatran folklore also describes a similar being known as the Orang Pendek. Reports commonly portray it as 3 to 5 feet tall, upright, coated in short hair, and remarkably powerful despite its small frame. At present, no definite explanation exists. The footage remains strange. Its location connects with several local legends, and the figure appears more visible than subjects in many comparable recordings. Still, one basic mystery remains. Did the camera document an undiscovered creature, or merely something ordinary whose distant appearance created a misleading impression? Ash K operates a wilderness adventure channel focused on distant off-grid camps, bushcraft skills, and solitary nights spent far inside deep wooded areas. The videos often capture immediate responses to strange noises or movement noticed during these outings. This recording was made on October 5, 2024, somewhere within an isolated North American forest.
Yeah. Be like, good morning. So here we are starting the day off with what, Zach?
Should I just make the coffee or tell about the night?
You can tell about the coffee and your night.
I have some Manuka honey I'm adding in. I also have some pure mushrooms as...
The footage does not open during the nighttime encounter. Instead, it begins the following morning. Yet even under daylight, the camper still seems clearly troubled by what happened. They appear composed, but their description of the previous night shows they barely rested. They had remained awake for hours, uncomfortable and unable to settle down. That lingering tension prepares the viewer for what follows.
Awake for about, 10 minutes, and I was thinking about what transpired during the night. And I was completely wide awake, and as I got a little bit emotional about what happened with my dog earlier, a very large human thing walked up to my tent while I was wide awake. I started hollering.
They then described the event itself. At some point overnight, while they were still completely awake, something directly approached the tent. Its steps sounded heavy. They called out loudly enough for anything nearby to hear, while also attempting to wake their companion. At that instant, a vague sense of unease became something much more concrete.
I kept hearing this dog tinging, just like we heard the last time, and he's not moving. He's sleeping right beside us. And what did I say, Ash? You're not taking my dog. And when I said that...
Following the disturbance, the dog no longer relaxed. It became attentive and moved nearer to the camper. The timing matters because the animal responded immediately after the same unexplained activity had taken place.
It was like, I don't know, he was reading Zach's mind before he even said it. So at the same time, all of a sudden, I turn around to look at Zach. He's that concerned and he could feel it. Like Tucker himself could feel.
Yeah, and then Tucker was sleeping in the tent with me. And
when the area became quiet again, they tried to understand what had happened. There was still nothing visible outside at all. The entire incident existed only through the noises they heard and the fear created in that moment. By the end of the discussion, no explanation is found. The events of that night still remain unresolved. What makes the account compelling is its order: discomfort before resting, heavy steps outside, a loud warning, and then the dog drawing closer without being called. Every reaction follows naturally from the one before it, making the sequence difficult to dismiss as simple chance. What do you believe was moving toward the tent during the night? That's it for tonight. Which moment creep? Drop it in the comments. Have your own story. Share it with us, and stay tuned. The next one is even darker.